Hello, hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss about industrial automation. So what is basically industrial automation? Industry is basically a place where most of the things are getting manufactured. Like let us talk about various manufacturing units are there. And what is automation? Automation came from the Greek word which means auto and mation. That means something which is automatically working according to what are the program we are feeding in that controller. It is working according to it. So it is industrial automation. So why industry require industrial automation? What is the use of industrial automation? The industrial automation is basically used in the control systems, and technologies are getting advanced, and industrial automation is used them in lot. So you can say that in most of the procurement industry, material handling industry, manufacturing process industry, and quality industry, these industries are using the industrial automation. And combined this is basically the combination of combined participation of human and technology. Human and machines are working together. You might have seen some of the industries are totally automated. That means most of the work and production is done by the machines only, and few of them are like they are taking the help of humans are taking the help of machines. So both work. Some operators might be there in the workshop, or and these things are being manufactured with the help of human, and some conveyor belts and robotic arms are there in order to enhance, or you can say, speed up the manufacturing process. So here it is used like that. So if we think about what includes the automation, it is not just including the computer programs or something. Like you can say only controller is not very important. Other things are also there, like pneumatic components are there, some heavy lifting or something which needs the hydraulic force. Their hydraulic components are used. Some mechanical parts are there, moving parts like conveyor belts and these kind of thing, gears, motors. Here mechanical instruments are there, electrical instruments are there, like relay, contractors. If we take an example of, we can find this electronic, lot of electronic components are there. So all these, and computer aided procedures like CAD is there. Like most of the machines, some programming is done and it is working. Computer aided procedures are being used. So these are several things together, in combination they form the automation. And if we talk, machines can, as it is written, machines can machine can carry out the process of manufacturing. Yeah, this is very important, that why we are using manufacturing through automation. Because it it creates a high level of precision, higher speed. If we want that the product should be manufactured at the greater speed, if we take an example, that initially the Ford Motors has just started to use automation in their company or in their manufacturing facility. Earlier it was their manufacturing one car in, and they are taking at least 3 hours to manufacture one car. And later, by the introduction of automation, they got that a great result, that is one car is manufactured within 30 minutes. So you can just imagine that how many folds the time has reduced. And the product quality also enhance a lot. Maybe earlier they might be using the manpower only for bending the sheets and creating a mold. It takes a lot of time, and the quality is not up to the optimum level. How much they are investing the time, they are not getting the quality up to that level. So in order to enhance the quality, consistency, we really required automation. So most of the companies are really adopting these techniques. So if we think about what is the goal of industrial automation, the major goal of industrial automation is to boost production. If any company wants to boost the production, they need to manufacture the good at a lesser time. So the speed of manufacturing should be high. So the major goal is boosting the production of the final products and reducing the cost of labor. Suppose that every month they are having certain, let us suppose that the company is having 50,000 manpower. Earlier, when everything is done manual manually, people are driving all the things and production line, everything, then it was like they are hiring 50,000 men and they have to give certain wage to them. So it takes a lot of companies financial may get bothered by these things. So if they are making a investment in terms of buying certain automated products, automated line and production line, conveyor belts, and these type of things, they may reduce the manpower a lot. And apart from that, it can be cost efficient, cost effective, and they can save a lot of money in labor. Okay, so if we talk about the controllers, what are the controllers we are using? Here, in most of the industries, they are using certain microprocessors. Some of the companies are using microcontrollers, and later on, most of the companies are into using a PLC, that is programmable logic controllers. So, what is the basic difference between all these three type of controllers? So, if we discuss about the difference, we will find that microprocessor, a multi-purpose programmable device that accepts the digital data input, processes it according to the instruction, is stored in the memory, and provides the result as output. What does it mean? It means that it is a multi-purpose programmable device. It is a kind of chip which is used in most of the cases to put a program. We use the programming terminals to create a program on this device, and we just write that program into this microprocessor, these small chips. And these are small chips are having the capability of executing certain task, and it has got certain memory which can execute certain task according to the program what we have written, or according to the logic what we have developed in that processor. It works according to that. So this is microprocessor. Microprocessor is not having all the peripherals are different. That means if you are having only microprocessor, then it is not possible for you to just control all the things, because it needs all other peripheral devices also. Like the microprocessor should be used along with the memory chips. It should have the input module, output module. It should have the power supply. So all these components together, if we use, then it will create certain thing which can be realized or which can be used to perform certain task. So it is, as the second point it is written, it is the only one component of the electronic device and requires additional circuit like memory, firmware, softwares before it can function. So as I have already told you, that it requires the input terminals, output terminals. There are modules are there. This need to be installed in the chip. So memory unit, these things are needs to be installed. So microprocessor is not a complete device. In order to complete it, you need other devices to be installed along with it. So it is microprocessor. Now, if we go for the microcontrollers, microcontrollers is basically having a microprocessor inside, in addition with a fixed amount of RAM, ROM, other peripherals, all embedded on a single chip. So it is basically, you can say it is having a more advanced feature, as it is having input output modules, memory unit, microprocessor. So it can be used for a small task. Suppose that I want to fill a tank, and I want to use a motor to fill a tank, and its level, as it reaches certain level, it should get stopped. Motor should get stopped. So this small logic could be developed by making use of the microcontrollers. So microcontroller are really effective where you need not to purchase a lot of devices in order to interface with it. You need only that microcontroller. It is capable of having all the things. So in the second point it is written, microcontroller is a specialized form of microprocessor that is designed to be self-sufficient and cost-effective. Self-sufficient, you got my point, that it is containing all those devices which are required, like memory, everything is inside that dual inline chip. So we need not to worry about, we need to purchase that microcontroller chip, and it is capable of performing certain tasks. We need to program it accordingly, and it is self-sufficient and very cost effective. You can if you go to the market in the electronic shop, you will find a microcontroller with a cost of nearly $10. It is not very expensive. So it it may be sometime convenient to purchase these things. And if you go for more industrial, you cannot install a microcontroller inside an industry which is having an ambient temperature of 70 degrees centigrade, or having a high humidity environment, or you can say a very harsh environment. These microcontrollers are really incapable of working. So in order to just perform those activities in the industrial environment, that rugged environment, so we need that PLC, that is programmable logical controllers. What is the benefit of these PLCs? These PLCs are just containing the microcontroller inside. As in the first point it is written, a PLC is a special microcontroller designed for the industrial use, and that is for controlling machinery or processes. So it is containing inside microcontroller. But that cabinet, that box inside which that circuit is there, that is totally rugged, and it should be, uh, you can say it is environment safe. It is in If it is installed in certain environment which is having like harsh environment, high humidity, high temperature, then also it won't affect that circuit inside that cabinet. So it is more industrial. It can be installed in a harsh environment. And PLC is a system that uses microprocessor and microcontroller as one of the component. As I think that this point is already covered in the first one. So I think it is clear. So we'll go to the next slide. So here we are going to talk about PLCs. So what is PLC? A PLC is a microprocessor based mini computer specially tailored, especially for certain control tasks. So PLC is a micro it is containing a microprocessor inside, and it is capable of performing certain tasks, and which could be programmed according to the end users. And it is a programmable memory. It is having a programmable memory to store the instruction and specific functions that include on off control, timing, counting sequences, arithmetic, and data handling to control machine processes. So it is containing the programmable memory which can be used to handle the digital processes, and some timing where is required, and some counting is required, arithmetic. It is capable of performing all those tasks. So it is a highly capable device. It is an industrial computer which is used to replace the mechanical timer counter, mechanical relays into a software logic instruction. So, what is this point? This point says that earlier it was like that most of the companies are using the mechanical timers, mechanical counters, and these are really very haphazardic. That means it is very complicated to troubleshoot or earlier, and the size of the system was very huge. So it is very difficult to accommodate in small facility these machines. A small task, if you want to perform, then you need that big panels, and which is really not required. If we go to these type of system like PLCs, these are capable of you can say hundred of relays or thousands of timer counter you can configure, that too making use of the softwares only. So it is the best way. In PLC, we can program with the help of logic, and it provides us controlling of any process as per the requirement. As it indicates that as per the requirement you can create the logic whatever you want. And I think that it is not possible earlier to create this type of complicated logic by making use of timer counter and hardware timers counter, which is rarely used. Most of the time it is only used for the isolation. Suppose that you want to run a motor which works on a AC power with the PLC, then in order to make a isolation we use that relay contractors. But for a logic operation, most of the time industries has adopted these sort of controllers. So we are going to the history of the PLC. We will discuss in this slide the history of the PLC. So the first PLC was developed. The first PLC system evolved from the conventional computer in the late 1960 and early 1970. So it was like 30 years back. It has just 30 or 40 years back. It has just started the evaluation of PLC, and it just evolved. It just evolved from the personal computers. Earlier, the computer size were very huge, and it could not be used to perform a certain task, certain repetitive task. We cannot use industrial PCs. Instead of using that huge PCs, these PLCs could be used. So it created a demand in 1960, late 1960 and 1970. Later on, the programmable logic controllers were initially adopted by the automotive industry, where software revision replaced by rewiring of the hardware control panels. When production model changed, what does it mean? This point indicates clearly indicates. I have already told you that it was firstly used by the company name as Ford. Ford is basically an automobile company which makes automobile cars, and it was their demand. Earlier they were using hardwired relays and contractors to perform the certain logics, and it was very difficult for them, and it created a demand in the industrial automotive industry. So they replaced the hardwired control panels with these small compact PLCs. So it was like 40 years back. And later on, the plant had a shutdown. The plant had a shutdown to up to a month, a model changeover time. But the early PLCs, when used along with the other new techniques, shortened the changeover time. What does it mean? It means that earlier, if you want to have a shutdown or a model changeover, it takes a lot of time to change over, because there is a lot of wiring is there, and if you want to remove or replace certain component, it will be very difficult to find those component, which component is faulty and which component needs maintenance. It was very difficult. So earlier, if you want to make some certain repairs or maintenance, you need to take a shutdown, and this shutdown may last maybe 2 days. So uh, this was the demand of the company, that they have to reduce the shutdown time. So how they can achieve this? They can only achieve this by making use of this sort of controllers like PLCs. So it created a demand in most of the industries. So automotive industries are the first who make a use of it, and later on all those companies which are having the manufacturing facilities, these PLCs are getting popular among those. So they are readily acquiring this new technology in their industry. And the earliest PLC were developed to offer the same functionality as a existing relay logic. So I told you that earlier it was mostly relay logic are being used, relays, contractors are used to create the logic, and it involves a lot of wiring, and it was difficult to troubleshoot. And later on, these PLCs created a demand in them. So the first company to start the PLC is Modicon. Modicon was the first PLC. Modicon 84 was the first PLC, and it was popular. It, it is popular in making use a different programming technique, because most of the companies developing a similar kind of controller are using the Boolean logic, and these Boolean logic are really difficult to understand. Most of the computer professionals are only having a knowledge of these type of logic, and engineers can understand this logic, but if certain technicians or com- people working operators, they cannot understand what is Boolean logic, because it is bit difficult. It is basically the language of 0 and 1, which most of the industrial computers are capable of understanding. So these Modicon come up with a different logic techniques, in which it is making a use of relay logic, and relay logic is bit familiar with all the people who are working in electrical domain and electrical technicians. These people know know how to read the diagram, relay diagram and relay logic. So this programming language, that is the ladder logic diagram, is really easy for them to understand, and which was only used by the Modicon for the first PLCs. And later on, most of the companies involved, like Rockwell Automation, these companies involved and just came up with their own controllers and made a competition with Modicon. And with the technology advancement, it was possible for them to connect a laptop or connect a personal computer with a PLC directly, and they are having a diagnostic tools, like they can online read what is going inside that black box. PLC was earlier like a black box. It is what all logic is being running, what is the input coming, what which bit was high, which bit was low. Earlier it was not possible for them, so it was a bit difficult for them to understand. But with the advancement of technology, diagnostic tool like online monitoring, online editing, these all things came up with a demand. So it created popularity among most of the companies for these PLCs. And other programming languages like flowchart, instruction list, these all have developed later on. And the standardization of the PLCs by IEC standard has developed, because earlier it was like that, most of the different vendors are using the ladder logic, but that too may be different way. So if a person is aware about certain PLCs like Ellen Bradley, it was very difficult to understand the Siemens logic or some other PLC logic. They are having the proprietary, so it was difficult. But IEC came up with a standard that all companies working in this aspect, they should follow this, and they should not go beyond this. They should follow the similar type of logic, so that every person who has came across certain controllers and they'll know the programming language of certain controller could easily understand other platforms also. So it came up with the advancement and development of the programmable HMIs, human machine interface, later on. It also create a lot of demand. So what are the reasons for the extensive use of the PLC? As I have discussed all the points regarding this, still I want to discuss about this, that why this extensive use of PLC came into demand. Why the companies are opting this PLC ahead of other controllers like Boolean logic? I have told that other controllers are also there, but they are not using. What might be the reason? The first reason is the flexibility. It is easier to create and change a program in a PLC than to wire or rewire a circuit. Earlier it was like that. I have told you that these are wire, like very complicated wiring is there, and if you want to change some logic, you need to rewire it. So it is taking a lot of time. So with this kind of flexibility, PLC came into demand that logic change and program change was very easy, very flexible. The program can be modified by the end user in the field. The people going to the field, they can automatically connect the PLCs, and it was very easy for them to program it. And moreover, one model of the PLC can be used to run the numerous machines with distinct program of each machines. That means one program controller. Suppose I am using a Allen Bradley. Allen Bradley can be used to control motor and pump system. It can be used to control the power plant. It can be used to control certain gas turbine. So it was very flexible to use the same controller in different applications. So it came up with the flexibility. So one of the point which is the most important is flexibility. The second one is the lower cost. Just imagine if the controllers were developed like very huge controllers making use of the lots of thousands of relay and control contactors and lot of wiring, everything. So just imagine about the cost will be really huge, and it will be very difficult to just manufacture those kind of panels. So with the evolution of the PLC, all these relay, timer, counters, sequencers, these things are not really required because everything is inside the PLC. You can make use of all those software, counter, timer, everything. So it was really cost effective. And the third point is the capability of communication. These controllers are capable of communicating with the other controllers. So it was very easy for supervisory control, data gathering, monitoring devices, process parameter, downloading and uploading the programs with the different controller. They can easily communicate and handshake easily. They can share the data among different controllers. So it is having a capability of communication. The next is I already discussed. It is having a fast response time. Most of the controllers are having real time operation, which implies that they can immediately act on the input they obtain. Whatever input they are getting, they are processing it within a fraction of milliseconds and generate the output. So it was very fast operation. Real time operation is a relative concept. That means any task is guaranteed to be handled with a certain time. So it was like that. In certain time, if certain input is coming, immediately output is being reflected according to the logic whatever the programmer has made inside the PLC. And the most beneficial thing is less and simpler wiring. Only you need to wire the input or output. You need not to connect all the relays and do a lot of wiring. That is not required. You have to just do all that wiring stuff in the form of logic development. And you have to simple wire the input and output, and you will get the desired output, whatever you want. So less wiring is required. And it is modular design. Modular design, what does it mean? Easy to repair, troubleshoot. Modular design supports some card is faulty, you can easily remove that card and install a new card and configure it. It will be very easy to have a modular approach. And the last but not the least, that is rugged design. It can handle the harsh industrial environment like high temperature, high pressure, high humidity. These controllers are able to survive in those, or you can say it can handle the things very well. Okay, thank you. I think that I'll discuss more of these PLC concept in the later topics, and such as in the second topic we are going to discuss about the relays. What is relay and why it is important to understand the relay? In order to understand the PLC and the different logics, you have to understand the relay. I have already discussed that PLC are only using the relay logic, and if you get to understand what is relay, how it works, what are the contacts, it will be very easy for you to understand the PLC programming. So in the next session we will definitely discuss the relay, and we will go into great details, and uh, if you stick to these lessons, I will definitely ensure that you will learn a lot of things and which is required. Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye bye.